Matt, Chrissy, thank you for joining. I'm doing well. How about you? Thank you for asking. Shout out to Matt, shout out to Christy, shout out to Mary. My day is going well. How about yours? Thank you for asking. Good, I'm glad. That's good. Shout out to Hannah or Hannah. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Thank you, Mary. Shout out to Robin. Thank you, Matt, Christy. Shout out to Samshana. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Unati. Shout out to Lima. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Futam. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Xylee XT. Xylee. No, I can't speak German. Shout out to Arctic. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Sam. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Claudia. Shout out to Julie. Shout out to, is it Lilchi? Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Noreen. Shout out to Summer. Shout out to Evie. Shout out to Kaza. Shout out to Amira. Shout out to Uza. Leave a like if you're enjoying the shout outs. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Hind. Shout out to Muskan. Shout out to Arim. Shout out to Labia. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Stephanie. Shout out to Jennifer. Shout out to Ian. Shout out to Alina. Shout out to Ojazvi. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Miriam. Shout out to Andrew. Shout out to Harim. Shout out to Mahi. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Noor. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Sana. Shout out to Yasir. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Sowad. Leave a like if you're enjoying the shout outs. Shout out to Landy. Reem, I got you. Shout out to Ollie. Shout out to Mir. Shout out to Amit. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to June. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Amir. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying the shout outs. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out as well. Shout out to Marco. Let's try to get to 20 likes. Shout out to Liz. Shout out to Abrar. Sorry if I mispronounced your name or if I wrote it wrong. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Amber. Shout out to Natalia. Shout out to Sama. Shout out to Felicity. Shout out to Nayon. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Brianna. Shout out to Mosop. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Sasha. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Nora. Shout out to Jordan. Shout out to Bargov. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Remus. Shout out to Rishma. Shout out to Brian. Shout out to Nabil. Shout out to Alba. Shout out to Moni. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Izzy. Shout out to Stitch. Shout out to Arohi. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Liliana. No, oh yeah, Lily. Oh wait, Liana, sorry. Shout out to Liana. Shout out to Fados. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Sejal. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Kof. Shout out to Autumn. Shout out to Anna. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. I hope we can get to 20 likes. Shout out to Ashish. Shout out to Gabriel. Shout out to Ghana. Shout out to Tai Hung Young. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Whoops. Tai Young. Shout out to Neil. Shout out to Aisha. Shout out to Finley. Shout out to Taya. Shout out to Rhythm. Shout out to Samuel. Shout out to Dion. Shout out to Amna. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Ada or Ada. Shout out to Miriam. Shout out to Luna. Shout out to Victoria. Shout out to Liana. Shout out to Misha. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Tallulah. Shout out to Ratil. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out, thank you for subscribing, Ratil. Shout out to Sophie. Shout out to Love. Shout out to Delnura. Shout out to Ezra. Shout out to Samira. Shout out to these people. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying the shout outs. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out and support as well. On to the next page. Shout out to Felicity. Shout out to Hassan. Shout out to Victoria. Shout out to Mohammed. Shout out to Ada or Ada. Shout out to Shazia. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Aston and Lilia. Shout out to Lilia. Shout out to Meme. Shout out to Alara. Shout out to Isabel. Shout out to Kuzi. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Coral. Shout out to Manon. Shout out to Ishal. Shout out to Swayan Shri. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Shifa. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Joni. Shout out to Rachel. Shout out to Mishkat. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Tank. Shout out to Rachel Grace. Shout out to Max. Shout out to, is it Lean and Vilma? Lean and Vilma. Shout out to Jojo. Shout out to Alina. Shout out to Isana. Shout out to Payu or Pihu. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Bariza. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Sehan. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Taya. Shout out to Rano. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Lando. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Karem. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Kuhu. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Zablon. Shout out to Sharina or Shirina. Shout out to Hiba. Shout out to River. Shout out to Danya. Shout out to Waffle. Shout out to Oscar. Shout out to Macy. Shout out to Diana. Shout out to Sia. Shout out to Uzair. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Jorvin. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Zablon. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. I hope we can get to 30 likes. Shout out to Neymar. Shout out to Adila. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Swara. Shout out to Gabriella. Shout out to Amelia. Shout out to Diliora. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Ella. Shout out to Efron. Shout out to Amelia. Shout out to Viura. Shout out to Arohi. Shout out to Aria. Shout out to Sifa. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Gareki. Shout out to Che Yu. Shout out to Hardy. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Lexi. Shout out to Shreya. Shout out to Annika. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Insia. Shout out to Vamsi. Shout out to Mishita. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. We're almost at 30 likes. Only one more like. Thank you for 30 likes. Shout out to Alice. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. Shout out to Mia. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out as well. Shout out to Laura. Shout out to Disha. Shout out to Hafsa. Shout out to Marcy. Shout out to Jasmine. Shout out to Amelia. Shout out to Sophia. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Yasi. Shout out to Judy. Shout out to Navkirat. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Bailey. Whoops, I don't know why I put a D. Shout out to Bailey. Shout out to Ahmad. Shout out to Margarita. Shout out to Yusuf. Shout out to Diora. Diliora. Shout Shout out to Calypso. Shout out to Mila. Shout out to Kaden. Shout out to Noemi. Shout out to Kennedy. Shout out to Taranjeet. Shout out to Fasika. Shout out to these people. Like and subscribe if you enjoy my shout outs. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out as well. On to the next page. Thank you for being here. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Avnita. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Logan. Shout out to Kazo. Shout out to Celine. Shout out to Lebo, or Lebo, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Delnura. Shout out to Musfira. Shout out to Marwa. Shout out to Shanaj. Shout out to Zachary. Shout out to Salish. Shout out to Holly. Shout out to Shivu. Shout out to Annabelle. Shout out to Bincy. Shout out to Pravesh. Shout out to Alexis. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Isla Niam. Shout out to Alvin. Shout out to Kelly. Shout out to Leanne. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Frankie. Shout out to Sanju. Shout out to... Thank you, Yoda, for subscribing. Shout out to Yoda. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Let's try to get to 50 likes. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Esme. Shout out to Aftab. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Evan. Shout out to Hope. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Rohi or Roji. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Asal. Shout out to Pravesh. Shout out to Aaron. Shout out to Amelia. Shout out to Osman. Shout out to Yasmin. Shout out to Aaliyah. Thank you for subscribing. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Christy. Shout out to Nurdan. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Yadav G. Shout out to Mira. Shout out to Gift. Shout out to Diana. Shout out to Caitlin. Shout out to Samantha. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Elias or Elias. Shout out to Neo. Shout out to Nathan. Leave a like if you're enjoying the shout outs. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Deliora. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Pari. Thank you for supporting Pari. Shout out to Elias or Elias. Shout out to Sakil. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Selena. Thank you. Shout out to Claudia. Shout out to Talia. Shout out to Anya. Oops. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Enya. We're almost at 50 likes. Leave a like if you're enjoying the shout outs. Shout out to Sifa. Shout out to Margarita. Shout out to Natty. Shout out to Tali. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Bunny Plays. Shout out to Aria. Shout out to Roxanne. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Kinga. Shout out to Tala. Shout out to Grace. I got you, Natalie. Or Nathalie. Shout out to Esme. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Sarah. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Elijah. Shout out to Kula. Shout out to Violetta. Shout out to Packet. Shout out to Natalie, or Nathalie. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Oakley. Shout out to Ulti. Shout out to Savio. Shout out to Bob, or Bob. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Karen. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Evie. Shout out to Merv. Shout out to Andrew. Shout out to Ella. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Anai. Shout out to Saskia. Shout out to Kelly. Shout out to Annie. Shout out to Kitty. Shout out to Seb. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Lacey. Shout out to Lola. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to these people. Please subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out as well. On to the next page. Leave your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Rabin. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Amin. Shout out to Vienne. Shout out out to Judy. Shout out to Blake. Shout out to Jose. Shout out to Ariana. Shout out to Rashi. Shout out to Allah. Shout out to Celine. Shout out to Remy. Thank you for 50 likes. Shout out to Enya. Shout out to Vera. Shout out to Aisha. Shout out to Bryn. Shout out to Tanusha. Shout out to Vera. Oh, Vera right here. Shout out to Bunny Place. Shout out to Allah. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Sadia. Shout out to Piper. Shout out to Damia. Sorry if I mispronounced her name. Shout out to Aisha, I got you. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Kaimari or Kaimari. Shout out to Efsan. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Clara. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Durga. Shout out to Anaya. Shout out to Amelie. Shout out to Zelaya. Or Zalia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Verimtra. Whoopsie, I messed up. Let me spell your name again. I messed up right here. Shout out to Verimdra. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Zaxtro. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Sanjita. Shout out to Lily. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Verimdra, I got you. Shout out to Mariam. Shout out to Gulzana. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Sitsumi. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Shaksoda. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Thank you, Atiz. Shout out to Iyup. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Kaimari. Shout out to Arzu. Shout out to Shaq Soda, I got you right here. Shout out to Minji. Shout out to Alif. Shout out to Aya. Shout out to Mira. Shout out to Amalia. Shout out to Zulit. Shout out to Alessia. Shout out to Lebo. Shout out to Aaron. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Haiti. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Savi. Lebo, I got you. Shout out to Ayla. Thank you for subscribing. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Maddie, I got you. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Zuridin. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Pabalo. Shout out to Haya or Haya. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Myra. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Sophie. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Adib. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Kusi. Shout out to Antonina. Shout out to Ella. Shout out to Hayan. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Excuse me. Excuse me. Shout out to Laura. Shout out to Suranil. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Thank you, Miriam. Shout out to Dylan. Shout out to Adela. Shout out to Alizé or Alizé. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Kayaza. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Lily Grace. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. We're almost at 60 likes. Shout out to Ismael. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Sadie. Shout out to Sophie. Thank you for 60 likes. Shout out to Valentina. Shout out to, is it Isla? Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Oxika. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Neymar. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Adam. Shout out to Rachel. Shout out to Helena. Shout out to Nora. Shout out to Rishi. Shout out to Zafir. Pause. Shout out to Lucy. Shout out to Sayoni. Shout out to Masa. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Lisa. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Holly. Shout out to Nancy. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Jamie. Shout out to Soris. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Sana. Shout out to these people. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my shout outs. I also post other content on my channel, so I hope you can support that as well or check it out. I would truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to try to live stream again another time today, so please subscribe so you know when I will be live streaming. Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Charlotte. Have a great day or have a great night. Take care. See you soon. Bye.